There's a test that takes 10 seconds. Doctors use it to predict whether someone will still be alive in 10 years. Most people over 70 fail it without even knowing what it reveals. Your body is keeping score. Every day, it's recording data about how much time you have left. Not in a file somewhere, not in a medical chart, in signals so subtle that most people completely miss them until something goes wrong. What I'm about to share with you comes from decades of research. 7 specific signs that predict longevity after 70 more accurately than most blood tests or scans. Some of them you can check right now, sitting where you are. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand. But I need to warn you about something first. Some of what you're about to hear might be uncomfortable, because these signs don't lie. They reveal what's really happening inside your body, whether you're ready to face it or not. Let's start with the one that surprises most people. Sign 1. The speed you walk. Doctors have a name for this. They call it the 6th vital sign. Not your heart rate, not your blood pressure, your walking speed. A major study tracked thousands of adults over the age of 65 for years. What they found was remarkable. The speed at which someone walks predicts how long they'll live more accurately than almost any other single measurement. We're talking about a simple walk across a room, and it makes sense when you think about it. Walking isn't just putting one foot in front of the other. It requires your heart to pump efficiently, your lungs to deliver oxygen, your muscles to fire correctly, your brain to coordinate everything in real time, your nervous system to keep you balanced. When your walking speed drops, it usually means one or more of these systems is starting to struggle. So, what's the threshold? Researchers found that older adults who walk slower than roughly 1 meter per second, that's about 2.25 miles per hour, face significantly higher health risks. Meanwhile, those who maintain a brisk, steady pace tend to outlive expectations. Here's the thing most people miss. This isn't just about exercise. It's about what your natural walking speed reveals. When you're moving through a parking lot or walking to your mailbox, are you keeping pace with others? Or have you noticed yourself falling behind? The encouraging part is that walking speed responds to effort. It's not fixed. People who start walking more, who build leg strength, who stay active, can actually reverse the decline. Your legs are the foundation of your independence, and the research is clear. How fast you move through the world is connected to how long you'll stay in it. But walking speed only tells part of the story. The next sign is something you use every single day without thinking about it. Sign 2. The strength in your hands. When researchers want to quickly assess someone's overall physical condition, they don't start with a treadmill test or a full body scan. They hand them a small device and ask them to squeeze. Grip strength has become one of the most reliable predictors of longevity in older adults. And it's not because your hands are somehow special. It's because grip strength reflects the health of your entire muscular system. When your grip weakens, it usually means muscle mass throughout your body is declining too. One large-scale study found that each 5-kilogram drop in grip strength was associated with a 17% increase in mortality risk. That's a significant jump from something most people never pay attention to. Think about what your hands do in a typical day. Opening jars, carrying bags, turning doorknobs, gripping railings for stability. When these tasks start becoming difficult, it's rarely just about your hands. It's an early warning system telling you that your body is losing the muscle it needs to protect you from falls, fractures, and the cascade of problems that follow. You can test this yourself. Find something moderately heavy, like a full water bottle or a book, and hold it with your arm extended. Does it feel secure? Or does your grip start shaking after just a few seconds? The pattern researchers see over and over is this. People who maintain their grip strength into their 70s and beyond tend to stay independent longer. They recover faster from illness. They're less likely to end up in hospitals for fall-related injuries. And just like walking speed, grip strength can be rebuilt. Simple exercises work. Squeezing a stress ball, carrying groceries instead of using a cart, even just opening and closing your hands against resistance a few times a day. The muscles in your forearms respond quickly to consistent effort. Your handshake might seem like a small thing, but what it represents is much bigger than most people realize. Now, the next sign is one you can test in the next 10 seconds, and the results might catch you off guard. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's move forward. Sign 3. Can you stand on one leg? This one sounds almost too simple to matter. But a study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found something striking. Middle-aged and older adults who couldn't stand on one leg for 10 seconds had nearly double the risk of death from any cause over the following decade. 10 seconds. That's all it takes to reveal something important about your body. Balance depends on 3 systems working together: your vision, the sensors in your inner ear, and something called proprioception, which is your body's ability to sense where it is in space. When any of these systems starts declining, your balance suffers. And poor balance doesn't just mean you might wobble occasionally. It means you're at higher risk for the kind of fall that changes everything. Falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury in adults over 70. A broken hip, a head injury. These events can trigger a downward spiral that's difficult to reverse. And it often starts with balance problems that went unnoticed for years. Try this right now if you're able to. Stand near a wall or chair for safety. Lift one foot just a few inches off the ground. Don't hold on to anything. Can you stay steady for a full 10 seconds? If you struggled, don't panic. But don't ignore it either. Balance is trainable. Simple practices like standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, walking heel to toe in a straight line, or even just shifting your weight from one leg to the other while waiting in line can make a real difference over time. What's fascinating is how connected balance is to brain health. The same neural pathways that keep you steady on your feet are involved in memory, reaction time, and coordination. When balance declines, it's often an early indicator that cognitive changes may be happening too. Your ability to stay upright isn't just about avoiding falls. It's a window into how well your brain and body are communicating. And that communication matters more with each passing year. Sign 4. How you sleep. Most people think of sleep as downtime, hours when nothing much happens. But that couldn't be further from the truth. While you're asleep, your body is doing some of its most critical work. And after 70, the quality of that work can determine a lot about what comes next. Here's what actually happens when you sleep well. Your brain activates something called the glymphatic system. Think of it as a cleaning crew that only works the night shift. This system flushes out toxic proteins that accumulate during waking hours, including the same proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. Your immune system rebuilds itself. Your heart rate drops, giving your cardiovascular system a chance to recover. Hormones that repair tissue and regulate metabolism are released in waves throughout the night. Now here's the problem. Sleep architecture changes as we age. The deep, restorative stages become shorter and harder to reach. Many people over 70 spend more time in light sleep, which means less repair, less cleaning, less recovery. And when sleep quality drops consistently, the effects compound in ways that show up everywhere else. Research has connected poor sleep in older adults to increased inflammation, higher blood pressure, accelerated cognitive decline, weakened immune response, and even changes in appetite hormones that lead to weight gain. One study found that older adults who regularly got less than 6 hours of sleep had significantly higher mortality rates than those sleeping 7 to 8 hours. But it's not just about quantity. It's about whether you're actually resting. Ask yourself these questions. Do you wake up multiple times during the night? Do you feel exhausted even after spending 8 hours in bed? Do you find yourself needing naps just to get through the afternoon? Has your sleep pattern become unpredictable, with some nights feeling completely restless? These aren't just annoyances. They're signals that something in your sleep system isn't working properly, and ignoring them carries real consequences. The causes vary. It could be stress keeping your nervous system activated. It could be too much screen exposure before bed, which suppresses melatonin production. It could be eating too late, forcing your digestive system to work when it should be resting. It could be an underlying condition like sleep apnea, which interrupts breathing dozens of times per night without you even knowing. The good news is that sleep responds to intervention. Small changes can produce noticeable improvements within weeks. Keeping a consistent wake time, even on weekends. Getting bright natural light in the morning, which helps regulate your internal clock. Avoiding caffeine after noon. Creating a cool, dark sleeping environment. Limiting liquids in the evening to reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Some people resist the idea of a sleep routine, thinking it's too rigid. But your body craves rhythm. It wants to know when rest is coming so it can prepare properly. The more consistent your signals, the better your sleep becomes. What happens in those hours of darkness shapes everything that happens in the daylight. Your energy, your clarity, your mood, your resilience. If you want to know how your body is really doing, pay attention to how it sleeps. And speaking of signals your body sends, the next one shows up 3 times a day, every single day. Most people don't realize how much it reveals. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now let's move forward. Sign 5. Your relationship with food appetite seems like such a basic thing. You get hungry, you eat, you feel satisfied. But after 70, changes in appetite can be one of the earliest warning signs that something deeper is shifting. Here's what happens in a healthy scenario. Your body maintains a steady weight. You feel genuine hunger at meal times. Food tastes good, and eating feels satisfying. You have enough energy to get through your day without crashing. Your muscles stay strong because they're getting the protein and nutrients they need. Now here's what often happens instead. Appetite starts fading. Meals feel like a chore. Food doesn't taste as good as it used to. Portions get smaller without any conscious decision. And slowly, almost invisibly, weight starts dropping. This kind of unintentional weight loss is a major red flag in geriatric medicine. Studies have shown that older adults who lose weight without trying have significantly higher mortality rates than those who maintain stable weight. And the reasons go beyond just eating less. When you're not eating enough, your body starts breaking down muscle for energy. This is called sarcopenia, and it accelerates rapidly once it starts. Less muscle means less strength. Less strength means higher fall risk. Higher fall risk means greater chance of injury. An injury in older adults often triggers a cascade of complications that becomes difficult to reverse. But there's another layer to this. Appetite changes can signal underlying health issues that haven't been diagnosed yet. Digestive problems that make eating uncomfortable, medications that dull taste or cause nausea, depression, which frequently shows up as loss of interest in food. Even early cognitive decline can affect the desire to eat. The taste issue deserves special attention. As we age, taste buds become less sensitive. Food that once seemed flavorful can start tasting bland. This leads many people to simply eat less because meals aren't enjoyable anymore. Some compensate by adding more salt or sugar, which creates its own problems. Others just give up and eat whatever's convenient, which usually means processed foods with little nutritional value. Protein becomes especially critical after 70. Your body needs more of it to maintain muscle mass, not less. Yet most older adults actually eat less protein than they did when they were younger. This creates a dangerous gap between what the body needs and what it's getting. So how do you know if your appetite is a concern? Watch for these patterns. Are you skipping meals more often? Do you feel full after just a few bites? Have your clothes gotten looser without any effort to lose weight? Do you find yourself uninterested in foods you used to enjoy? Are you relying more on snacks and less on real meals? If any of these sound familiar, it's worth paying attention. Sometimes the fix is simple. Adding herbs and spices to make food more flavorful, eating smaller meals more frequently instead of 3 large ones, focusing on protein-rich foods at every meal, staying hydrated since dehydration can suppress appetite, eating with others, which often makes meals more enjoyable. But sometimes appetite changes point to something that needs medical attention. Don't dismiss it as just getting older. Your body is trying to tell you something. The question is whether you're listening. What you eat and how much you enjoy eating shapes your energy, your strength, your immune function, and your ability to recover from setbacks. It's one of the most controllable factors in how well you age, and it starts with paying attention to what your appetite is really saying. Sign 6. How you respond to stress. Everyone faces stress. That part doesn't change with age. What changes is how your body handles it. And after 70, the way you respond to life's challenges can accelerate aging or slow it down dramatically. Here's what happens inside your body when stress hits. Your adrenal glands release cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Your heart rate increases. Blood pressure rises. Energy gets redirected away from long-term maintenance and toward immediate survival. This is useful if you're facing actual danger. It becomes destructive when it never turns off. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated for weeks, months, even years, and elevated cortisol does real damage over time. It suppresses immune function, making you more vulnerable to infections. It interferes with sleep architecture, reducing the restorative stages your body desperately needs. It promotes inflammation throughout the body, which has been linked to heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and cognitive decline. It even affects telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that influence how quickly your cells age. One study compared two groups of older adults facing similar life circumstances, same age range, similar health profiles, similar challenges. The difference was in how they processed those challenges mentally. The group that ruminated, worried constantly, and felt overwhelmed showed measurable biological markers of accelerated aging. The group that adapted, problem-solved, and moved forward showed the opposite pattern. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about how long you stay activated after the problem appears. Think about what happens when something stressful occurs. A health scare, a financial worry, a conflict with family. Do you address it, process it, and gradually return to baseline? Or does it loop in your mind for days, keeping your nervous system on high alert, even after the immediate situation has passed? That looping is where the damage happens. Your body can handle acute stress. It's designed for short bursts of activation, followed by recovery. What it cannot handle is being stuck in a constant state of alarm, and many people don't even realize they're stuck there. They've normalized the tension in their shoulders, the racing thoughts at night, the irritability that never quite goes away. The physical signs are often subtle at first: trouble sleeping, digestive issues, fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, frequent headaches, getting sick more often than usual. These can all be connected to a stress response that's working over time. So what actually helps? The research points to a few things consistently. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which counteracts the stress response. Even just a few minutes of slow, deliberate breathing can lower cortisol levels measurably. Physical activity burns off stress hormones and triggers the release of endorphins. Social connection, which we'll discuss next, provides a buffer against stress that nothing else can replicate. But perhaps the most powerful tool is something internal. It's the ability to distinguish between problems you can control and problems you can't. People who age well tend to focus their energy on what's actionable and release what isn't. They don't waste resources fighting battles that exist only in their imagination. This isn't personality, it's skill. And like any skill, it can be developed. Mindfulness practices help. Therapy helps. Even simply asking yourself, "Is there anything I can do about this right now?" can interrupt the rumination cycle. Your stress response isn't just about how you feel. It's actively shaping your biology every single day. The calmer you can keep your baseline, the more resources your body has for repair, recovery, and resilience. And that brings us to the final sign. It might be the most important one of all. Sign 7. The people in your life. Humans are not designed to be alone. We evolved in tight-knit groups where connection wasn't optional, it was survival. And even though modern life looks completely different, that fundamental wiring hasn't changed. Your body still needs social connection the same way it needs food, water, and sleep. The research on this is striking. A major meta-analysis looked at over 300,000 participants and found that weak social connections increased mortality risk by roughly 50%. To put that in perspective, that's comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's more dangerous than obesity, more dangerous than physical inactivity. Loneliness isn't just an emotional state. It triggers a physiological response. When people feel isolated, their bodies produce more cortisol. Inflammation markers rise. Sleep quality declines. The immune system weakens. Blood pressure increases. The brain, deprived of regular social stimulation, begins declining faster. And here's what makes this especially relevant after 70. This is often when social networks start shrinking naturally. Friends pass away. Family members move. Retirement removes the daily interactions that work provided. Health issues make it harder to get out. Without conscious effort, isolation can creep in gradually until it becomes the default. Consider two different paths. One person maintains regular contact with friends and family. They have conversations that matter. They feel known by others and know others in return. They have reasons to leave the house, places to be, people expecting them. Their days have social texture. Another person has let connections fade. They spend most days alone. Conversations are brief and transactional. They can go entire weeks without meaningful human contact. The silence feels normal because it's been building for years. These two people will age very differently, not just emotionally, but physically. The connected person has a buffer against stress. They have accountability that keeps them active. They have mental stimulation from regular interaction. They have something that gives life meaning beyond just existing. The isolated person has none of those protective factors, and their body knows it, even if their mind has rationalized the solitude. What counts as meaningful connection? It's not about having dozens of friends or being constantly surrounded by people. Quality matters far more than quantity. A few close relationships where you feel genuinely seen and valued provide more benefit than 100 superficial acquaintances. It's also not limited to family, friendships, community groups, clubs, religious organizations, volunteer work, even regular interactions with neighbors can fulfill this need. What matters is that you feel connected to something beyond yourself. If you've noticed yourself withdrawing, declining invitations, avoiding phone calls, or spending more time alone than you used to, pay attention. This tendency often increases with age, but it works against your health at every level. Rebuilding connection doesn't require dramatic changes. It can start with one phone call, one coffee with an old friend, one decision to join a group that meets regularly. The barrier often feels higher than it actually is. And once you start, momentum builds. Your relationships aren't separate from your health. They are your health. The people you stay connected to, the conversations you have, the sense of belonging you maintain. These factors shape how long you live and how well you live just as much as any diet or exercise program. Don't let this one slide. It might be the most important investment you make. 7 signs, each one a window into something deeper. Your walking speed reveals how well your systems are coordinating. Your grip strength reflects your overall muscle health. Your balance shows how well your brain and body communicate. Your sleep determines whether your body can repair itself each night. Your appetite signals whether you're giving your body what it needs. Your stress response shapes how fast or slow you age at the cellular level. And your social connections provide a foundation that supports everything else. Here's what matters most. Almost all of these factors are within your control. They're not fixed by genetics or luck. They respond to effort. People who were struggling with balance have rebuilt it through simple daily exercises. People who lost grip strength have regained it with consistent practice. People who slept poorly for years have transformed their nights by changing their routines. People who felt isolated have rebuilt meaningful connections one conversation at a time. The research is clear on this point. How you age is only partly determined by your biology. The rest comes down to choices, daily choices, small choices, the kind that seem insignificant in the moment but compound over years into dramatically different outcomes. So take a moment right now. Think honestly about where you stand with each of these 7 signs. Which ones feel solid? Which ones have been slipping? You don't need to fix everything at once. Pick one, the one that concerns you most, or the one that feels most achievable. Start there. Because here's what nobody tells you about longevity. It's not really about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. Staying strong enough to play with grandchildren, sharp enough to learn new things, steady enough to walk without fear, connected enough to feel like you belong. That's what these 7 signs are really measuring. Not just how long you might live, but how fully you'll be able to live it. The signals are there. Your body has been sending them all along. Now you know how to read them. The question is, what you'll do next. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share your support. Help us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.